Hey everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. So in today's video I am doing a cage change or like layout change for my two Campbell dwarfs. So I have two pedigree Campbells from a ethical breeder. Their names are Alivia and Alizah, and they are a bonded pair, so they live in the same cage. So a quick disclaimer, yes, hamsters are solitary animals, however this isn't the case with Campbells, and Campbells actually prefer to live in groups or pairs. However, the Campbells do have to be pedigree Campbells and also from a good ethical breeder. You definitely cannot just get two dwarfs and put them together because they will definitely fight, and also Syrian hamsters are strictly solitary. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So first I'm just starting off by taking everything out of the enclosure, just so that I can completely spot clean it and make sure all of the dirty bits of bedding are taken out. I will not be taking all of the bedding out. I will literally just be spot cleaning where they've been sleeping and weeing or pooing, and I will completely leave the rest of the bedding in there. If a hamster has a suitable sized cage, they shouldn't really ever need full clean outs, just because this is so stressful for them and they're clean animals anyway, so it's really unnecessary to just take out all of the bedding. So as you can see, Alivia and Alizah have come out of their nests, and I am just getting a carrier ready to put them into, as it's just easier to take them out of the cage whilst I'm changing the layout, just so that they don't get in the way or like I don't squash them or anything. I usually get them out of the cage with a snuggle sack, as they don't really like being picked up like in my hands, but I couldn't actually find the snuggle sack, so I just had to put my sleeve over my hand and let them climb onto it, and then I put them safely in the carrier. I was also doing an Instagram live whilst I was filming this video, so you'll probably see my iPad come in and out of some of the clips, but anyway, this is just me compressing down all of the bedding, making sure all of the dirty bedding is out, and then I'm compressing it back down just so that it holds all of their burrows a lot better. So in Alivia and Alizah's cage, I have used Chipsi Woodshavings, Fitch bedding, and also some orchard grass hay. So that is a substrate that is in their cage at the minute. So here I'm just getting ready to put everything back in, and I decided to use this cork log to hold their sprays, as it's quite a small cork log. They can fit through it still, but it just looks nicer with the sprays in it. So I've just put this standing up in the bedding in the corner. And then I am just getting their wheels ready. So their wheels are the 21cm Getzoo ones. However, I do need to upgrade them to the 25cm ones, but I'll probably do this around Christmas or after Christmas, just because Christmas gets quite hectic and expensive. So yeah, the only reason I want to upgrade them to a 25cm wheel is just because they like to run on the wheel together, and the 21cm wheels can be quite small for that. So I will eventually upgrade them, but for now they have the 21cm ones. So now I'm just making sure all of the bedding is completely pressed down as far as it can go. I did really want to add more bedding in here, because once it's all compressed down there was only about 8 to 10 inches I think, and obviously as you can see there's space to add a lot more, but as you saw on my last video, I've just built Axxie and upgrade, so that actually used up all of the bedding that I had, so I couldn't add any more. So the next time I do their layout change, I will definitely make sure I have more bedding to add in. Here I've just added in some grapevine and also a cork log. I couldn't actually decide where to put this cork log as usual, but in the end I obviously do decide, and I also decided to make a little like platform with the Bendy bridge, as you can see here, and I put their honey 3-paws hide on top of it, which I thought looked really cute, so I was happy with that. Here I'm just cleaning some bits of bedding out of their cocoa fibre, as it wasn't really dirty, it just had bedding in it, so I just cleaned out the bits of bedding and put it back in their cage. Here I'm just moving the cork log around again, and I also put in this fake plant. Alivia and Alizah really aren't bothered about chewing anything, so they are the only hamsters that have a fake plant in the enclosure, because I know the others would definitely chew it, but thankfully Alivia and Alizah haven't touched it at all. They aren't even interested in it, so I just add it to their enclosure as it just looks nice, and if they're not chewing it, then why not? Here I decided to move everything around again, and I ended up putting their cocoa fibre where that cork log was, and then I ended up putting the cork log in between the cocoa fibre and their sand bath. Here I am just putting their sand bath back in, and then I am trying to decide what to do with this willow tunnel, and I don't actually think I used it in the final layout of the cage. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took it out. I can't actually remember. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I took it out, and I also added some moss on top of the willow tunnel that's under the substrate. Here I'm just adding back in their terracotta plant pot. This is Olivia's favourite spot to hold all of her food, so I make sure that's in there. Here I'm just adding in all of their little ornaments again. The minis have a few toadstools and mushrooms and little like fairy ornaments that I add to their enclosure, as I always go for like a little fairy forest theme for them. I don't know why, I just think it suits them so much, so I'm just adding them in. They also have a little fairy house as well that sits next to their water bowls, which you'll see in a minute. Then here I am just putting their spray back into the cork log. I would usually give them a new spray, but this spray still had some bits for them to eat on, so I decided to leave it in, and when they finished it I'll just replace it with a new one then. Next I just added in their food bowls on top of their hide, and also their little pumpkin hide, because of course it's Halloween. And now I'm just adding some moss around their little hide, just because I don't know if you can see the design on their little hide. It's from Honey Three Paws, and it's like a little hobbit hole design, so I decided to put moss all around that little platform area to make it look a bit more foresty. Here I'm just adding more moss to the top of the plant pot, and then I'm also adding in some millet sprays into the cork log as well. This is probably their favourite spray. They really love flax sprays as well, but the millet is always the first to get eaten. So here I'm just adding some flax sprays into the cork log, and I'm just bending it all down just so that they can reach them. And I also add flax sprays around the enclosure as well. And here's me eventually adding flax around the enclosure as well. And then here I'm just adding in some leaves, and I use raspberry leaves, birch leaves, and also nettle leaves. I love adding leaves to my enclosures, it just gives it that more natural look. And here I decided to use some blue Carefresh to make like a little water feature. I love doing this with some of my enclosures, I think it just gives it that really cool pop of colour. Once I've finished perfecting that, I'm adding in some Tiny Flowers shop Forage. I will link their website down below. And I also had some rose petals left over from, I can't remember where I got them from, but they were from something that I ordered. And so I'm just sprinkling the rest of these in there as well. And then I decided to add more Tiny Flowers shop flower mix. The first time I actually used their Halloween mix, and now I am just using their normal flower mix. My hamsters are obsessed with Tiny Flowers shop flowers, so I definitely recommend going to check them out because they are so lovely. Finished cage, I thought I'd just give you a quick overview. I actually really enjoyed making this enclosure and I'm actually really happy with it. Sometimes it's really hard to do Alivia and Alizah's enclosure just because there's two of them, so you can't make it too cluttered, but you also have to make it so there's still a lot for them to do. I've also added in a video of them going into their enclosure, which is really cute. And I actually didn't realise I was holding the snuggle sack so far off the ground, so Alizah actually falls out of it. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye!